Okay, I'm just going to talk you around a little bit of the exterior of the machine and the basic operation. Okay, here we have the chemical induction hopper. You can see it pulls down to working height. Okay, we have an agitator inside which can mix, you know, everything really, from either a liquid of very thick viscosity or powders. You can let that mix up accordingly. Okay, and you can start emptying the hopper whilst it's mixing by opening that tap there, and you can see the liquid has gone. Okay, we have a container washer here. Place the can over there, pull this lever here, and that will rinse out the container. Also, it can be used for rinsing out the hopper itself, as you can see. Grimpeur is a mechanical drive machine. You can see that we have a clean bridge underneath the machine. Okay, there's no wheel motor sticking out into the crop, and we have 800mm of clearance. So we come flush up one side, straight across and flush down the other side, and that's the same with the row crop wheels fitted. The rear suspension, which is carried here on these two hydraulic cylinders here, it's oil over gas accumulator suspension, which is load sensing. So as the machine is loaded with water, the machine will level itself, so you will always have optimum suspension irrespective of the tank content. The balance of the machine in reality is about 55% rear biased. Okay, into the pump area behind this panel, which lifts up. We have inside here an AR 380 litre a minute pump as standard. This is a new AR pump. It is one of the few pumps that actually pumps near its labelled capacity, despite the plumbing that it has to push the liquid through. It can deliver easily 360 litres per minute. Hydraulically driven, which is controllable from this tap here. We have our Ramsey unit held in here as well. Our compressor, which is run from the back of the spray pump, and our regulating air valves. From a pump servicing point of view, we can take this pump out of this compartment in about 15 minutes. Inside here, there's a small storage locker, and that's where the battery is with the main isolator for the machine. This is our 36 metre boom. It's fitted with Muller auto height control. These are the sensors for it here. Okay, there's one at each end and there's one in the centre. The boom is constructed of a folded plate and single strands of box section which runs the entire length of the boom with no joint. It's one piece. Okay, every pin is a proper bright bar pin through a bushed hole with a grease point. When we move up to the intermediate section, the box section, one continuous piece changes size, and as we move up the boom, the more metal there is in the crucial areas. In here we have our variable geometry rams, which each one has its own accumulator to give it boom suspension. Okay, the main hinge pin, which is a 45mm pin all the way through, greasable at both sides. Okay, same with the vertical pin for the folding. Okay, this 36 metre boom has a dry weight of approximately 1,300 kilos. Grimpeur L Series from 3,000 litres, 3,500 and 4,000 litres can be fitted with this particular wheel and tyre combination, which is a 520 85 38. It's quite a tall tyre, and this provides us a low ground pressure feature without going too wide, keeping the road width down, and our ability to travel with having such a long footprint far surpasses that of some of our competitors' machines, where they have quite a low wheel at maybe 710 width. Here we also fit as an option the Bluebeam 1010 TYRI light, which is by far the best blue light on the market, but not the cheapest. This can illuminate a 40-meter boom with 2 bulbs. Okay, we can see we have a nice spacious cab. There's a lot of room around us. There's a passenger seat here which can fold away. And we have no corner pillars, so we can see our boom from the driving position very easily without straining to look past any corner steel work. Engine RPM is controlled from this lever here. We can just push that forward. You can set it where you want it to be. You usually find in the Grimpeur machine, being mechanical axles, we don't have to have it revving very high to maintain a good torque and power ratio. We can probably spray in most circumstances at around 1500 RPM. We have a simple console with switches as follows. This switch here, that turns the oil on, that allows the pump and the booms and everything to work. When that's switched off, everything's disconnected, therefore you can't inadvertently put something on by accident on the road. That switch there, that's a change between the mechanical high ratio and the mechanical low ratio. Okay, majority of spraying you'll probably do in the high ratio, but if you were going to some particularly steep ground, then you would put it into the low ratio. This switch here is the oil speed, that changes between the high oil and low oil. Okay. On the display here, we can see here, this is our hydraulic oil temperature, which will probably never really get above 50 degrees C. This here, our engine RPM, okay. Here we have our steering modes. We're in 4-wheel steer at the moment, that's 2-wheel steer or crab steer. We're in high mechanical, low oil. Okay, so there's a mechanical symbol there and an oil symbol there. This symbol here tells us that our pump is switched on. If I push that switch off, you'll see that goes out, that's the pump off, and that's the pump back on. Okay. Here, we can see here, this is our engine temperature and our fuel level. Other warning symbols in here, they tell us you know, whether the fuel's low, oil's low, engine temperature problems, anything like that. Lights, main beam, indicator warning light. A panel above our right shoulder, which has got our switches for our working lights, our beacon and our heated mirrors. Just going round to the other side, we have our Bluetooth telephone stereo, our electric mirror control switch, and our climate control panel. Here we have a visor, sunscreen, which can pull down to help get rid of any low-level sunlight. We also have a special convex mirror here, which allows us to see where our front wheels are in relation to doing row crop work. Okay, and then we have large wing mirrors, so we can see right out behind us and the inside corner of the boom. These two switches here, pretty self-explanatory as per the labels. We can clean this. We can clean the system, so we can flush out the boom and spray out the washings without diluting the main tank. So if we'd been spraying a particular chemical and we got rained off, we can push this switch. It will then start drawing the water from the clean water tank, and as soon as I start spraying it out, it'll spray that clean water through the entire system and out of the booms. But none of the returns will go back into the main tank. Okay, This one here is to turn on the tank spinners to rinse the tank, and then you can drain that out of the bottom in your washdown area. This is the latest Muller Touch 1200 computer. Generally on a sort of large specification machine, this is the computer that we would be ideally fitting. You do have a choice. You can fit a more basic Muller system, or we can fit the ARAG system, whichever you prefer. This is an Isobus controller. Okay, this particular one is fitted with auto boom height control with 3 sensors, working the VG rams and the up and down. The GPS is integrated into the same unit. Okay, so everything for the sprayer is controlled from this one unit. We don't have separate boxes for different elements of the machine. If we want to highlight and look at something in more detail, we just touch it, then it will swap places with what was in the main part of the screen. So now we're looking at the GPS page here. We can put auto section control on, auto steering can be turned on from here. You do your AB lines in your normal way, or you can upload your pre-prescribed maps for your fields. If we want to look at the sprayer in more detail, we just click that and that comes up. We can see here, we know there's 1,000 litres left in the tank. If we put it into automatic, it's set as 100 litres per hectare. 1,072 litres in the tank, we will cover 10.7 hectares. Okay, and it will count that down accordingly. This one is equipped with a Muller tank control system, so it always records what is in the tank. It even records the chemical going into the tank, and it also has a pump shut-off facility. So when we press the tank button, we can enter the refill limit. So if we want to change that, we can say, right, we only want to take 2,500 litres, so 2500, enter. So now when I get outside and I press start on the control panel, it will take 2,500 litres and then turn the pump off when we've reached that level. Okay, and then we can go and start spraying, and we know we've got exactly the right amount for the job. The hydraulic boom folding is done from this screen as well. Picture of a boom there, we just tap that, okay, and we can see there. So if we want to lock the boom solid, we hold that button, and the boom, we'll see a twitch, and the boom is now locked solid. We can see a padlock. We want to unlock it. The boom is now back in a float position. Okay. We also have connected to this screen the Muller multifunction joystick. Okay. This joystick does 24 different features. Okay. Sounds complicated, but it's not. Okay. There's a little decal on here which tells us what each feature does. Okay, but once you've done it for a day or so, you soon it becomes second nature. So if we want to lift the boom up, we can hold that and we can see that we're manually raising the boom as so. Okay, if we want to lower it down, we press the other side, the one below it, and we do that. If we want to put the boom into automatic height control, we just tap that and it'll go to automatic. Okay, so the boom is in automatic and it'll guide over the crop or any obstacles up to about realistic speeds, approximately 15 kilometers an hour. Any more than that in really undulating terrain it would struggle, but in quite undulating terrain it would handle it. Here we are in the spraying mode. We're actually spraying now. Our target rate there is 90 litres per hectare. That's our actual rate. Our forward speed is here. And these are our boom sections. If I'm not working in GPS and I want to turn off the sections manually, I have sequential switching on the joystick. So it's press once, turned off one section, again, another section, again, and so on, all the way across the boom. Obviously with GPS functioning, that's going to do it automatically. Okay, and back on, like so. You see our rate fluctuate a little bit and then it reaches our target again. You can also see as we're spraying, our tank content is being counted down. And that is a live tank content working with the Muller tank control gauge. Hopefully that gives you a small insight into the Bargam Grimpeur 4000 litre machine. For more information, visit www.bargam.co.uk.